Hello friends, today I will discuss the traction problems on trapezoidal speed time curve approximation and quadrilateral speed time curve approximation. Before we discuss the problems on this, so let us see what type of questions that can be asked in these two types of curves. Similarly, what is the data that we are supposed to know, what type of information they will ask, etc. we should know before we analyze the problems. So here, first of all, we should know what is main line, what is suburban line, what is urban service, and what are their parameters, and what are their speed, etc. So when we look at the various services of traction, there are parameters for each service. So there are three services. One is mainline service, the second one is suburban service, the last one is urban service. This is also called a city service. So to define these services, there are parameters. So distance between the stops in kilometers, it will be more than 10 kilometers for the case of mainline service, whereas for suburban services the distance should be more than 1 kilometers, less than 8 kilometers or 10 kilometers. Whereas urban service, the distance between the stops should be less than or equal to 1 kilometers. When it comes to the maximum speed in kilometer per hour, in case of mainline service, it is 160 km per hour, whereas in case of suburban service, the speed allowed is only 120 km per hour. Similarly, for urban service, the maximum speed allowed is 120 km per hour. Coming to the acceleration in kilometer per hour per second, for mainline service, it will be 0.5 to 0.9. For suburban service, it ranges between 1.5 to 4. For urban service, also it will be 1.5 to 4 km per hour per second. Similarly, a retardation or a deceleration in kilometer per hour per second. In case of mainline service, it is 1.5 km per hour per second. For suburban service, it is 3 to 4. Similarly, for urban service, also it is 3 to 4. Coming to the features, for mainline service, long free run period, coasting and acceleration braking periods are small. That is, coasting and acceleration braking periods are small, whereas free run period is more in case of mainline service. Whereas in case of suburban service, there is no free running period. For suburban service, coasting period is long compared to the urban service. Similarly, in the urban service, there is no free running period, but coasting period is small compared to the suburban service. Coasting means it is the movement of the train without power or with power cut off. And the types of problems that can expect from this chapter is, one type is data is given as per trapezoidal approximation, means straight. So there is no mixing with other system. Similarly, data is given as per quadrilateral approximation and you will be asked some of the parameters. The third category is they mention the distance between the stops 1 kilometer or 2 kilometer, and data will be given as per trapezoidal, whereas this trapezoidal belongs to the main line service, but he is taking this as approximation for this suburban service. So we have to understand, suppose they don't mention the trapezoidal, then we have to we have to follow what is called quadrilateral approximation equations. When they say the approximation diagram, then we have to follow that given approximation diagram equations. There is a fourth kind. They mention the distance between the stops like 11 kilometers, means which is more than 10 kilometers, which comes under the category called main line service, but data is given as per quadrilateral. So in that case, when they say the approximation is as per quadrilateral, we have to use the quadrilateral speed time curve equations to solve the problems. So these are the four kinds of problems that we can expect in this case. Similarly, there is another thing. Often we have to convert some of the parameters like acceleration. So acceleration is given in kilometer per hour per second. But whereas the situation demands to know the acceleration or deceleration in terms of meter per second square. In that case, we have to simplify that by using a term 5 by 18. How did you get it? So means 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meters. So we are writing in the numerator 1000. Similarly, 1 hour is equal to 3600 seconds. So we are writing instead of 1 hour, we are writing 3600. So from this, once we simplify it, we get 5 by 18. So for from higher values to lower systems, we have to multiply with 5 by 18. That is lower value here. 5 is less, 18 is more. Similarly, suppose the acceleration is given in meter per second square and the situation demands to know that value in kilometer per hour per second. In that case, so what we have to do is we have to divide that meters with the 1000 and the seconds with the 3600 multiplication, so that we get 18 by 5. This is the multiplication factor to convert 1 meter per second square into 1 kilometer into km phps. So this we have to keep in mind always. Similarly, there are other definitions. Average speed. Average speed means it is the distance between the two stops divided by actual time of running. Here we don't consider the stop timing. So next, scheduled speed. So here it is nothing but the ratio of distance between the two stops divided by actual time of running plus time of stopping. So once we take the time of stopping into account, automatically scheduled speed will be less than the average speed. So depending upon the occasion, we have to use these equations to get the desired information. Suppose the given data is trapezoidal. So in that case, the diagram will look like this. So here this is the acceleration period, this is the free running period, this is the retardation period. So timings are T1, T2, T3, and the distances covered during T1 is called D1. Similarly, during T2, distance covered is D2, and distance in the time period T3 is called D3. To get this D1, D2 or D3, we have to calculate respective curve area. That is, suppose you want to know the distance d1 in this time period t1. So we have to find out what is the area of this. That is, this is a triangle. So half Vm into t1. That will give you the distance covered in this time period. That is called during acceleration period, the distance traveled by the train is represented by d1. Similarly, during free running period, similarly during retardation period. So they may ask anything. They may ask d1, d2, d3, or they may ask t1, t2, t3, or they may ask t, or they may ask what is the scheduled speed, or they may ask the average speed, or they may mix the average speed with the scheduled speed. So once we know the equations, using the given data and knowing the equations, we can calculate the desired data. So in the trapezoidal method itself, the maximum speed, this is maximum speed, so that we can get like this: Vm is equal to t minus root of t square minus 4kd divided by 2k, where k is nothing but 1 by 2 into 1 by alpha plus 1 by beta, where this alpha is acceleration and beta is retardation. And we know what is alpha. That is, alpha is nothing but Vm by t1. Similarly, beta is nothing but Vm by t3. And whereas if you want to know this distance, so you have to calculate that is t2 into Vm is nothing but the distance traveled, that is nothing but d2. So next, so here this d is nothing but the distance between the two stations, two stops. So we can also write, we know this equation, that is k is equal to d by Vm square into Vm by Va minus 1. Often we find the problems, they give the ratio between the Vm and Va, and you are asked to calculate what is the maximum speed, or you may be asked to calculate what is this k value. So similarly, for quadrilateral approximation, alpha is nothing but V1 by T1, and from that we can calculate what is T1, that is during acceleration period. That time period is given by like this. Similarly, the coasting period is given by V1 minus V2 divided by T2, and from this we can also calculate what is the coasting period. Similarly, retardation period is given by, retardation value is given by V2 by T3. From this we can calculate what is T3. Similarly, we can calculate what is the total running time, that is T is equal to T1 plus T2 plus T3. That is the actual running period. So if you know the distance between the two stations and if we divide that with this T, then we get the what is called the average speed of the train. Similarly, we know the V2 value, so that V2 is nothing but this speed. V1 means maximum speed, and this is the acceleration period, this is the coasting period, this is the retardation period. So in each period we find some distance traveled. This is d1, this is d2, this is d3. So in the quadrilateral speed time curve approximation, we know what is the that V2 value in terms of V1, that is we can write like this. So we may have to use this equation also depending upon the given data. Similarly, we also find the distance between the two stops in terms of half into T into V1 plus V2 minus half V1 T3 plus half V2 T1. This is also derived already. So this also sometimes we use for solving the problems. And we can see the quadrilateral approximation speed time curve like this. On y-axis, this speed is in kilometer per hour per second, whereas on x-axis time is in seconds, and which covers acceleration period, coasting period, and the retardation period. So let us take a problem. The distance between the two stops is 1.2 kilometers. A scheduled speed of 40 km per hour is required to cover that distance. The stop is of 18 seconds duration. The values of the acceleration and retardation, that is alpha and beta, are 2 km per hour per second and 3 km per hour per second respectively. Then determine the maximum speed over the run. Assume a simplified trapezoidal speed time curve. So if you look at the given data, the distance between the two stops is 1.2 kilometers, means it falls under the category called suburban service. So that is more than 1 kilometers, less than 10 kilometers. We are supposed to follow the quadrilateral speed time curve, but he is assuming the simplified diagram speed time curve is trapezoidal speed time curve. So though the category comes under the suburban service, but we have to follow the mainline service data to solve this problem, because trapezoidal speed time curve comes under the category called mainline service. So in the mainline service trapezoidal speed time curve, the maximum speed equation is given by like this: Vm is equal t minus root of t square minus 4kd divided by 2k. So here, if you know this t and if you know this k and d, then we can calculate what is the maximum speed. So here we have to calculate all these things. So he gave some data. Stop time is given, but what we want is the run time we want. So to get that, so he gave some other data, scheduled speed. So from that we can calculate what is this actual time of running, that is small t. Similarly, this k is nothing but 1 by 2 into 1 by alpha plus 1 by beta. From that we can calculate what is k. And the distance d is given 1.2 kilometers. For this equation, you have to convert that to meters. 1.2 into 1000 meters. So now let us calculate all these values first, then we calculate what is the maximum speed of the train. So trapezoidal means this is the trapezoidal. This is T1, T2, T3. So you have to calculate what is this T. And to know that he gave some data, we know the formula. Scheduled speed is nothing but distance between the two stops divided by actual time of running plus time of stopping. So acceleration is also given, alpha is equal to 2 kilometers per hour per second, and retardation beta is given as 3 km ps. So scheduled speed is given as 40 km/h. So when we convert that to kilometer per second, we get 40 divided by 3600. That is hours converted into seconds. And distance d is nothing but 1.2 kilometers. So now let us see what is scheduled time. Scheduled time means, so look at this. This whole thing, actual time of running plus time of stopping put together, is called the scheduled time. That scheduled time is equal to distance between the stops divided by scheduled speed. So the scheduled speed is mentioned as Vs and d is the distance, and because Vs is given in kilometer per hour per second, kilometer per hour. So if we use the distance in kilometers, that kilometer going to get cancelled. So then straight away we get the in seconds. So when first we get hours, so that convert into seconds means, so we write like this: d divided by Vs divided by 3600. That makes Vs kilometer per second. So because you are dividing Vs by 3600, so 3600 comes to the numerator. So we get d by Vs into 3600. And now d we already know, that is 1.2 kilometers. Substitute that into 3600 divided by 40. This is given for 40 kilometer per hour is given. So we are converting that to 40 kilometer per second. So when you convert that per second means, then in the numerator we get 3600. So totally we get scheduled time as 108 seconds. So we know the actual time of run is equal to scheduled time minus stop duration. So this is the whole scheduled time. We have calculated scheduled time. So means this whole thing we have calculated. And time of stopping is given. So from once we know this time of stopping, and if you subtract this from the scheduled time, then we get the automatically actual time of running, that is small t. So actual time of run t, capital T r is equal to small t is equal to t as scheduled speed minus stop duration, that is 108 minus 18. So it will give you 90 seconds is the actual time of running. So we got small t. Similarly, we know what is k. K is nothing but 1 by 2 into 1 by alpha plus 1 by beta. And we know what is alpha and what is beta in kilometer per hour per second. So we substitute them, then we get 0.416. So now to get the maximum speed, so because we calculated all the values, t we know, k also known, distance between the stations also known, so we can calculate what is the maximum speed. That is what he asked. So to get this maximum speed, what we have to do is we have to mention d in meters, whereas it is given in kilometers. So you have to convert that into meters. So time is in seconds. So just now we have calculated what is the running time, that is t, small t is 90 seconds. So we know t, we know k, and we know d, so we can calculate what is the maximum speed. So substitute these values, that is 90 minus root of 90 square minus 4 into 0.416 into 1.2 into 1000, that is 1.2 kilometers converted into meters. So divided by 2k, 2 into 0.416. So once we simplify it and we take the square root of this, then we get 90 minus 78.12 divided by 2 into 0.416. And if you further simplify it, then we get 14.27 meters per second. But whereas the maximum speed of the train is always mentioned in terms of kilometer per hour. So I already mentioned that to get the higher value, means higher dimensions, so then we have to see that high value will come in the fraction. So we multiply this 14.27 into 18 by 5. So we get 51.372 kilometer per hour. So this is what he asked. So that is what we got here. So let us take another problem. The speed time curve of train carries the following parameters. The free running period is 12 minutes. Uniform acceleration of 6.5 km per hour per second for 20 seconds. And uniform deceleration of 6.5 km per hour per second to stop the train. And fourth point is a stop period of 7 minutes. And what he wants is find what is the distance between the two stations, what is the average speed, what is the scheduled speed. So distance between the two stations means if we calculate the area of this curve, the steptoidal curve, then that is nothing but d, that is total distance between the stops. And similarly, so he gave this data, that is acceleration period means 20 seconds is given and the acceleration value is given. So alpha is nothing but Vm by, so maximum speed divided by this time, that is t1, Vm by t1. So alpha is known and t1 is also known. So we can calculate what is the maximum speed of this train. Once we know that, automatically we can get what is the time period t3 using the similar formula, because deceleration is given but time period he did not mention. So beta is equal to Vm, which is calculated here, is still valid, divided by T3. So T3 is unknown, but whereas beta is known. So we can calculate what is the time period T3. T3 is nothing but Vm by deceleration, that is beta. And we know what is average speed in kilometer per hour, that is given by Va is equal to d by T. D is the distance between the stops. T is the actual running time. Coming to the scheduled speed definition, distance between the two stops, that is nothing but capital D divided by actual time of running plus time of stopping. Time of stopping is given as 7 minutes, that is 7 into 60, 480 seconds. So that is given, but this time of running, actual time of running is not given. Means T1, T2 is known, but T3 is not known, so that we have to calculate here. So to calculate this D, we have to calculate distance traveled during the acceleration, during the free running time, during the retardation time, that is D1, D2, D3. So D1 is nothing but half into Vm into T1, D2 is nothing but Vm into T2, D3 is nothing but half Vm T3. So means it is nothing but just a half BH, the triangle area. Similarly here also triangle area, whereas here it is the rectangle area. That is what we have. So that is what is written here, D1, D2, D3. So alpha is given, so we can use this formula Vm by T1. Similarly from that we can calculate what is T1, Vm by alpha. Similarly beta is nothing but Vm by T3, and from that we can calculate Vm by beta. So acceleration is given as 6.5 km per hour per second. So acceleration period T1 is also mentioned as 20 seconds. So the procedure to solve this problem is, first calculate what is the maximum speed that the train attains, that is half BH, for that is during the D1 period, you calculate that. So that is the first step. And next get T3 value, that is half BH means VM into T3. So beta is given, only T3 is unknown, so from that we can calculate what is T3. T1, T2 already mentioned here in the given data, and stop timing is also mentioned. So only thing is T3 we have to calculate. Similarly, distances D1, D2, D3 we have to calculate. Once we calculate, we can add all these D1 plus D2 plus D3 to get the D. Similarly, we know that since T1, T2, T3 are known, so we can calculate what is the actual time of run, that is T is equal to T1 plus T2 plus T3. Similarly, once we know this small t and the distance d, we can calculate what is the average speed, that is capital D divided by small t. And also we know the scheduled speed is nothing but d by actual running time plus stopping time. So that is what he wants. So let us calculate one after the other. First step is, we have mentioned that calculate what is the maximum speed. Vm is nothing but alpha T1. We have seen what is alpha. Alpha is nothing but Vm by T1. So alpha is given, T1 is also mentioned in the data. So we can straight away multiply both so that we can get the maximum speed in kilometer per hour. Next, free running period is also mentioned as 12 minutes, but what we use is only seconds. So 12 into 60 will give you 720 seconds. So next, time of retardation. So we know time of retardation T3 is nothing but V divided by beta, Vm divided by beta. So Vm we calculated, that is 130 divided by beta, that is also mentioned, that's so 6.5. So from that we can calculate what is the retardation period, that is 20 seconds. So we have calculated T1, T2 and T3. So from this we can calculate what is the actual time of running by adding all these T1, T2 and T3. So once we add them, there is 20 plus 720 plus 20, then we get 760 seconds is the actual running period of the train. So coming to the scheduled time, we have to add stopping time for this actual running time, that is T plus stop time. So that is 760 plus 7 minutes is the stop time, but we have to convert that to seconds. So multiply that with the 60 seconds. So then we get totally 1180 seconds. So the distance traveled during the acceleration period, we can calculate piecewise, that is during the acceleration, during the free running period, during the retardation time. So during the acceleration, so we write like this, half BH means half Vm into T1 divided by 3600. So why did we do this 3600? The reason is the speed is calculated in kilometer per hour, whereas our T1 is in seconds. So you have to convert that to hour, so that hour going to get cancelled. So finally you will get distance in kilometers. So that is what we have done here. Half into 130 into 20 divided by 3600. So we get 0.36 kilometers. That is the distance travelled by the train during the acceleration period. Similarly, the distance travelled during the free running period. So that is a rectangle. So the area of that is nothing but Vm into the duration of time is T2. Again, Vm is in kilometer per hour. So the time which we know T2 is in seconds. So you have to convert that to hours. So that hours get cancelled, so that we get the distance travelled in kilometers. So 130 into 720 seconds divided by 3600. So we get 26 kilometers is the free running period. Next, the distance travelled during the braking period. This is also called a retardation period. That is during the T3 which is in seconds, we can calculate like this. D3 is nothing but, again, it is a triangle, so of BH, that is half into Vm into T3. So from this, because we know T3 also, that is 20 seconds, and Vm is known, so this 3600 into 2 becomes to 7200, and Vm is 130, at T3 is 20, so we get D3 as 0.362 kilometers. So we have calculated the distance during the acceleration period, that is D1, the distance during the free running period, the distance during the retardation period. So if we add all the distances, so then it becomes the distance between the two stops. So that capital D is nothing but D1 plus D2 plus D3. So once we add all this, so we get 0.36 plus 26 plus 0.362. So finally we get 26.724 kilometers. So what we want is, what is the average speed, what is the scheduled speed. So we know the definitions of average speed. Average speed is nothing but capital D divided by the actual running period. So average distance, average speed, it is its average speed. Average speed is given by D into 3600 divided by T. So reason for dividing T with the 3600 is, speed is always comes or mentioned in terms of kilometer per hour. So D is already there in kilometers. So if we convert this time seconds into hours, then we get the kilometer per hour. So for that purpose, we multiply or we divide the T with the 3600, so that it will become multiplication to the D. So 26.724 into 3600 divided by 20 plus 720 plus 20. So it comes out to be 126.58 kilometer per hour is the average speed. Coming to the scheduled speed, we know the definition, that is capital D divided by the scheduled time. Scheduled time means actual run of time plus stop time. So actual running time we already calculated, and only thing is we have to add the stopping time, that is 7 minutes, convert that to seconds, then divide the whole this denominator with the 3600, so that this 3600 comes to the numerator, so that this time becomes hours. So 26.724 into 3600 divided by this T, that is like small t or capital T, both are one and the same, that is actual time of running, 20 plus 720 plus 20, and we have to add this stopping time, that is 7 minutes, so 7 into 60. So after simplification, we get the scheduled speed as 81.53 kilometer per hour. So if you look at this values, average speed is more than the scheduled speed, because in the denominator the value of time is less, whereas the value of time for the scheduled speed is more in the denominator, so we get the less value here. So next problem. So here the distance between the two stops is 5 kilometers. A train has scheduled speed of 50 kilometer per hour. The train accelerates at 2.5 km per hour per second and retards at 3.5 km per hour per second, and the duration of stop is 55 seconds. Determine the crest speed, that is nothing but maximum speed, over the run period, assuming trapezoidal speed time curve. So if you look at the distance between the stops, it is 5 kilometers. This 5 kilometers comes under the category called suburban service. So when the distance is more than 1 kilometers and less than 8 or 10 kilometers, that comes under suburban service, and we are supposed to take the quadrilateral speed time curve for simplifying the problem. But here he specifically mentioned that assume the speed time curve as trapezoidal speed time curve to solve this problem. So when specifically mentioned, so we have to follow the given approximation speed time curve and corresponding equations to solve this problem. So trapezoidal speed time curve means it will be like this. So what he wants is what is the maximum speed. So here we should know some of the terms, that is average speed is given by distance between the two stops divided by actual time of running, and schedule speed is given by distance between the stops divided by actual time of running plus stopping time. And we know the relations during the acceleration period, acceleration speed relation, this is the average speed is given by d by t, and acceleration alpha is given by Vm by t1, and from that we can calculate what is t1, that is Vm by alpha, where Vm is the maximum speed, that is this. And similarly you have the beta here, this is the retardation time, and here the maximum speed is again Vm. So we say beta is Vm by T3, and from that we can say T3 is Vm by beta, and we also know because alpha and beta are known, so we can calculate what is K, that is 1 by 2 into 1 by alpha plus 1 by beta. So using all these values, so we have to calculate what is Vm. So to calculate Vm is maximum speed, so we have to use this formula. So that is t minus root of t square minus 4 kd divided by 2k. So from this there is another equation, that is k is equal to d by Vm square into Vm by Va minus 1. So here we follow this equation because that is more easy to solve this problem. So first convert the alpha and beta into meter per second square. Then second step is convert the scheduled speed into kilometer per hour, so kilometer per second, and put the d in kilometers, means calculate in the distance between the stops in kilometers. Then get t, that is actual time of running, in seconds using the scheduled speed equation. So then get the what is Vm in meter per second, then get Vm in kilometer per hour, because this is what is mentioned normally. So acceleration A is given by 2.5 kilometer per hour per second. So we have to convert that into meter per second square. So to get a lower value, so we have to multiply with lower fraction, that is 5 by 18. So we get 0.6944 meter per second square. Similarly, retardation also we can calculate in meter per second square by multiplying the given value with 5 by 18. So that is we get in kilometer per hour per second. That is meter per second square. So we get 3.5 into 5 by 18, that is nothing but 0.9722 meter per second square. So once we know alpha and beta, we can calculate what is k, that is 1 by 2 into 1 by alpha plus 1 by beta. And once we substitute these values, and then we get 1.234 as the value, and d is mentioned as 5 kilometers, so we take that as it is. And then scheduled speed is given as 50 kilometer per hour, so you convert that to kilometer per second, so divide by 3600, so that we get the 0.01388 kilometer per second. And we know the formula, that is scheduled speed is nothing but capital D divided by scheduled period, that is scheduled period is nothing but D by VSH divided by 3600. So that VSH in meter per second we already calculated, so we can use directly that value here. So 5 by 0.01388. So once we simplify this, we get 360 seconds as the scheduled time. So this scheduled time consists of two things. One is actual run time plus stopping time also, it will be there inside. So actual time of run T is equal to scheduled speed minus stop time. Stop time is given as 55 seconds. So whereas the scheduled period is 360 seconds. So 360 minus 55, we get the 305 seconds. And we know the equation, that is Vm is equal to maximum speed. Vm is equal to T minus root of T square minus 4 kd divided by 2k. And we have already calculated all these values, so we substitute all the values here. So instead of T, we write 305. This is nothing but actual run of time of the train. So minus root of 305 whole square minus 4 into k value just now we calculated, that is 1.234. So into D, so that is in kilometers, 5 kilometers divided by 2 into 1.234. So once we simplify this, so we get the Vm value like this, 305 minus 261.428 divided by 2 into 1.234. So finally we get 17.65 meter per second. And because we mention always the maximum speed or speed in kilometer per hour, so we have to convert this into kilometer per hour. So whereas this is in meter per second, so to get this in kilometer per hour, we have to multiply with the higher fraction, that is 18 by 5. So Vm is equal to 17.65 into 18 by 5, so that we get 63.55 kilometer per hour. So next problem, a train is required to run between two stations 1.5 kilometer apart at an average speed of 42 km per hour. The run is to mate to a simplified quadrilateral speed time curve. If the maximum speed is limited to 65 km per hour, the acceleration to 2.5 km per second, and the coasting and the braking braking or retardation one and the same. So the value of coasting is nothing but 0.15 km per hour per second, and the retardation value is 3 km per hour per second respectively. So determine the duration of acceleration, coasting period and the braking periods. So because here the distance is 1.5 km between the two stops, means it comes under the category called suburban system, and he is also saying that the equivalent circuit to be taken is, or the equivalent speed curve is quadrilateral speed time curve. So it is exactly the data is matching with the curve. So it's a straight method. So we have to use quadrilateral speed time curve like this. So if you look at this properly, what he wants is, what is this T1, what is this T2, what is this T3. So T3 is nothing but braking time or retardation time. This is the time during the coasting retardation, and this is the during the acceleration. So these values we have to calculate. So for the first case, so alpha is given by V1 by T1, where here V1 means maximum speed and V2 is this speed just before the retardation period. So V1 by T1 will give you alpha, and from that we can calculate T1, that is V1 by alpha. Similarly, beta C, retardation due to coasting is given by, that is this period. So V1 maximum speed minus this ending point, that is V2 speed, divided by T2, because between this and this the time period is T2. So from this we can calculate what is T2. T2 is equal to V1 minus V2 divided by beta C. So once okay, T2 is known. Next, we also know this is the retardation value region. So beta is nothing but V2 divided by T3. From that we can calculate V3 is equal to V2 by beta. And we also know that the actual time of running is nothing but T1 plus T2 plus T3. That is the sum of this and this periods. So here the main problem is to get this T2, T3. We do not know what is V2. So we have to calculate V2. So to get the V2, there is no direct equation, but indirectly he mentioned, that is the average speed is mentioned, that is the distance traveled between these stops divided by the actual time of run. This is the clue. So you know D and you know VA, and so from this we can calculate what is small t, that is which is equal to T1 plus T2 plus T3. So there we have to substitute that T3 and T2 with these values. So the procedure simplifies like this. First get T1, then get T, that is from the average speed equation, then get T2 and T3 in terms of V1 and V2, that is equations are available. So then equate T is equal to T1 plus T2 plus T3. So from here, so you will find the equation which is V2 is unknown and rest are known. So one equation, one unknown. From that we can calculate what is V2. Once we know the V2, so we can go back to the equations, that is T2 equation and T3 equation, so that we can calculate what is T2 and T3. That is T2 is nothing but V1 minus V2 divided by beta C, and T3 is nothing but V2 by beta. So that is what we are going to do now. So distance between the stations is 1.5 kilometer and average speed is 42 kilometer per hour. So when you convert this into kilometer per second, so you have to divide that 42 with the 3600, so that you will get km per second. So maximum speed V1 is already available, that is 65 kilometer per hour, and acceleration value is also given, that is 2.5 kilometer per hour per second, and coasting retardation is also mentioned, that is 0.15 kilometer per hour per second, and braking retardation is given as beta is equal to 3 kilometer per hour per second. So these are the values given. So our first step is to calculate what is T1, duration of acceleration, that is nothing but alpha is equal to Vm by or V1 by T1. So from that we can calculate V1 is equal to Vm divided by alpha. This Vm and V1 are one and the same, so Vm is given as 65. So we write 65 and divide that with the acceleration value alpha, so that is 2.5. So we get 26 seconds as the acceleration. So once we simplify it, 65 divided by 2.5 will give you 26 seconds. So next, we know what is the average speed. So actual time of run, that is nothing but capital T is equal to or small t is equal to D by VA. We know VA is nothing but D by small t. So whereas T means we write like this, D by VA. And here we are multiplying 3600, that is actually we are dividing the VA with the 3600 because that is in the demand, VM by 3600, so automatically that comes in the numerator so that we get the actual time of run in seconds. So 3600 into 1.5 kilometer divided by 42 will give you 128.57 seconds. This is the actual time of run. This is also equal to small t. Now we know before applying the brakes what is the speed of the train, that is nothing but v2. So duration of the coasting time is nothing but t2 is equal to vm minus v2 divided by beta c. So Vt is not known, but Vm is known and beta C also known. So we substitute all the values. So we get 65 minus V2 divided by 0.15. So similarly, the duration of the braking is nothing but T3 is equal to V2 divided by beta. Beta is given, but V2 is not known. So we write V2 divided by 3 seconds. So now we know actual time of run, that is small t is equal to t1 plus t2 plus t3, and we have calculated that small t. So that is 128.5 seconds. So we write like this, and that is t1 already calculated. So t is equal to 26.26 seconds plus this t2. We do not know v2, so we write as it is 65 minus v2 divided by 0.15 plus T3 is nothing but V2 by 3. So we write as it is. So this is one equation, one unknown. So solve this equation, then we get V2 as 52.252 km per hour is the speed just before the retardation or braking time. And once we know the V2, we can calculate what is T2 and what is T3 because that depends upon this V2. So the duration of coasting is nothing but T2 is equal to Vm or V1 minus V2 divided by beta C. That Vm value is already given, that is 65 km per hour. So 65 minus 52.252 divided by 0.15. So we get 84.98 seconds as the duration of coasting. Next, duration of braking. So that is nothing but retardation time, that is T3 is nothing but V2 divided by beta. So V2 we have calculated, that is 52.252 and beta is already given. So you calculate that, so you will get 17.4173 seconds. This is what he asked. He asked what is T1, what is T2, what is T3. So we calculated all values, and if you want to calculate small t, that is already calculated using the average speed. So he did not ask the scheduled speed, so we don't calculate it. So if you see properly, we have just followed this algorithm or procedure. First we have calculated what is T1, and then we have calculated what is the total time of run using the average speed formula, and then we have written what is T2 and T3 in terms of V1, V2. That T2 is nothing but coasting time, that is V1 minus V2 divided by beta C, whereas T3 is nothing but V2 divided by beta, because V2 is the maximum speed for this retardation time, and we substitute all the values in terms of V1 and V2. So V1 is known, but only thing is V2 is not known. And once we substitute this in the equation called total time of running, that is T is equal to T1 plus T2 plus T3, and we get in that equation only one unknown, that is V2. So we can get that V2 from that equation. Once we get that V2, so we already know what is T2 and what is T3 definitions. So we use those definitions and we calculate what is T2 and what is T3.